everybody, welcome to Oyster LifeStyle. We are here for a very exclusive and interesting session talking about wellness and design. And we have top designers with us sharing their views on what wellness really means to them. Before we start that, I would like everybody to give a little brief about themselves, about what kind of products and projects they've been working on, and what really is wellness to them. So let's start with you, Ajay.
Hi, thank you, Himani. I am Ajay Nirmal. I run a firm, architecture and interior design firm based in New Delhi called Ajay Nirmal Architects, and we primarily deal in architecture and interior design of all residential and commercial projects. Particularly in wellness and design, I think for me it's not a lot of personal interpretation. Rather, I think it's going to be a common interpretation for all of us as humans. Generally, wellness and design is going to be common for each one of us. It's going to be something which makes you feel a little relaxed, makes you feel one with nature, or calms you down. So I think it is common for all of us, and probably using natural materials, using sustainable materials, which makes you again one with nature. I think that is what I define as wellness and design, and so that's the take that we also have in many of our projects.
Over to you.
Oh, thanks. Hi everyone, I'm Chandrika here for Meraki Design. So we are a comprehensive architectural interior design firm based in Gurgaon, doing projects pan-India and globally. So we specialize in healthcare spaces, hospitality, corporate spaces and high-end residences. And in fact, wellness, or what we call cognitive design, is one of our core pillars of strength in our office, of the three pillars that we have. And I personally in my design journey had a turning point moment when I realized the importance of wellness. And if I may just share that story right now. So when we've been doing so many hotels and hospitality projects, residences, when I got my first healthcare project, and you thought of yourself, what is healthcare? Look around, and if you close your eyes, you'll think of white walls, printed artwork, green vinyl, and stainless steel chairs. Do you feel that? And I thought to myself that here we're designing restaurants which are all looking one more Instagrammable than the other. And why is it that in healthcare it's not there? Where that's a space people go not by want but by need. And how can I, as a designer, make that journey of the patient more a pleasant experience? I'm not a doctor, I can't save their lives, but like in a restaurant, the food is the hero, but yet the space is Instagrammable, and that whole experience of the person is by the interiors that sets the tone. So I said, why not bring that in the healthcare spaces we design? And so that's when we made cognitive design a core pillar in our office, that in any space we do, we're going to look at how it affects emotionally to people as they navigate the space.
Wonderful. Wonderful to hear that. We've heard one segment where, we're driven towards nature for wellness, and with you, we are driven towards a hospital segment, which I feel is untouched, and wellness really comes from there when we talk about health. But moving forward, let's move to Kavita and see what she has to say, and we'll start with a little introduction about you.
Hi everyone, I'm Kavita from Unify. So we are a Gurgaon based company. We are into architecture and interiors, and we are majorly into residential, commercial and office spaces. So I believe wellness for me is something which is the principle, the basis of our company, because Unify means the unification of the lifestyles, the work we do. So actually the name suggests that it's a unity between the environment, the clients, the designs we provide. So we actually believe in the holistic approach and something which is responsible designing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dhananjay. I'm from Studio Mathema. We do architecture and interior projects in and around the country. We are as of now also doing projects abroad. So wellness for me means many things. One of the things that means to us very significantly is, there was a book by the master architect Joseph Alberstein about a building in the garden. And it's not just if you see his buildings around Lodi Road, the way it is integrated with the garden, way he's got the finishes inside. So the reflection of the garden outside is very well inside, and how the buildings are sitting in the landscape, very well integrated. So that to a large extent is our inspiration as far as wellness is concerned. In other aspects of wellness are also there, but if you can really feel you're in the nature, I think that's the best approach to wellness about it.
Thank you, Dhananjay. Hi, I'm architect Gagan Khaturia, and my firm is called Space Inc. We've got studios in 2 places in Delhi, NCR, and we operate out of the need of the client to be connected with what their project is. So as a design firm, we have been known to do work where the client brief stands the foremost. There's no set design style that we follow, and that's what we are known for. A client's outcome is what we bring out, and wellness for us has always been prime, because it's a state of being. It's not just about as a product you install. Wellness is a state of being, and that's what we bring about. We've been known to do the inside out design concept too much. We've done many houses with a courtyard concept. We've converted really dark basements into artificial havens of spas and that kind of stuff by using natural light ducts and solariums artificially created with lighting. And we've done that way before a lot of these things in terms of technology came in now. The first artificial natural light brought into a basement was done by us about 12 years ago. We brought ducted natural light into a basement. So we see that a lot in the social media now. And that is the prime driving factor for us in all of our projects. We've done residences, we've done hospitals, small ones, not the big ones. I should call them nursing homes. We've done some public spaces, as in the hospitality sector, and we've done a lot of industries. So we even follow the air quality management even in factories for workers, where they eat, where they work, and even where they exit and enter from. And COVID actually brought about a big change in awareness about this whole thing. During that period was the time when a lot of our clients came back to thank us for what we had done for them many years ago. And that was a really high point in our firm.
Thank you. Lovely hearing from everybody on how they add to the wellness quotient. Since Oyster LifeStyle is about wellness, my core question is that we know that surroundings profoundly impact to the well-being of a user. So how much is user taken into consideration, specifically when you are designing your spaces, the movement of the occupants, their physical activity? So how does the vicinity and the occupant is connected while you're designing a project? So let's start with Dhananjay.
I think wellness is central to the design. It's just that at times it's a part of the aesthetic expression. At times it's not. But as far as the users are concerned, that the well-being of the users in terms of right from selecting the right color palettes to being able to introduce courts, as he rightly mentioned, to be able to introduce light inside the building and things. That's always a central value to any designer while designing. But as far as actual projection is concerned, it's not always a part of the projection. You may not feel that it's a space which is central to this theme, but that has to be the theme of every building.
Thank you. Ajay, would you like to add something to wellness in your projects and the use of wellness for occupants specifically?
So when I talk about general wellness and how to connect physical activity with the occupants, I would say that we'll have to, primarily in India, we'll have to focus more on a larger scale and then come back to the buildings. I think on a larger scale right now, when we talk about urban spaces are not really very interactive for us right now. It is not really very user friendly. I think primarily we need to design our urban cities which are more walkable, which are more user friendly, which are more bicycle friendly, so that people, like recently, I'll give you an example. I was in Hong Kong a few days back, and I on a particular day I walked about 38,500 steps. I walked 26 kilometers that day, and I didn't even realize it. By the evening is when I realized I'd done so much. After I checked my smartwatch, and it was so shocking, because I didn't feel a thing. It was so easy to do that in that city, and for us, and it naturally promotes physical activity, right? So that it becomes much more easier. So I think we as architects and urban designers have to create a more better quality in the city life, and also and when we talk about buildings inside, probably in the interiors we would primarily first relate to staircases as the primary physical activity. And with staircases, the things are that right now in all commercial buildings you would see that staircases are tucked on the exterior of the buildings, and they don't provide a proper visual connectivity to it. So what we should be doing is rather bring in the staircases and make it an integral part of the interiors. It should also be a part where people are able to walk through. It can be an amphitheater seating. It can multiply into different functions also, and again, so that also promotes certain level of physical activity. So I think all these integrations have to be done, reverse from city-wise to the building-wise and everything on forward.
Absolutely agree with you on how it's equally proportioned to all sectors, and everybody needs to work together to kind of build that flow. Chandrika, since you'd already mentioned to us about how you've incorporated health and wellness into designs, if you can share an instance elaborately with us on how in a project you incorporated wellness.
So yes, I did share my story, and I'll say, see, what are we designing for? We're designing for people, right? So that is our core. I think as architects, we've been trained to design in terms of spatial flow, the body movements and all that. So the physical aspect is definitely taken care of in art from training to day one till what we do today. But the emotional wellness, and I think today it's more need of the hour with the kind of lifestyles that we have and the city living that is there and the stresses that are there. I think the space can really, really help you downtime when you need to. And that's what we need to as architects start incorporating in our designs. There are a few of us who are already doing it, and I think everyone should. So we are having biosphere calendar, more courtyards, more in touch with nature, the kind of lighting you do, the kind of space quality. I think that is very important. So like I mentioned, we were doing it in a lot of our hospitality spaces and started doing it in our healthcare spaces, and that has been widely recognized by people. And today when I go back, even 8 years down, and I see the visitor book, and I realize that we have been successful in some part, because while waiting for an OPD is when your loved ones are you spending quality time. Today, a mother and daughter may not get time. My mother keeps complaining, but I sit with her in the waiting room and I catch up on what's happening in her life. And if I can design that space which can relax people and let them be themselves and not have that anxiety or the stress or the worry, I think I'm successful as an architect.
Absolutely. What do you have to add here, talking about your projects and how you've incorporated wellness?
For me, wellness is actually one of the key aspects. It's one of the major pivots for our designing. Since as designers, as architects, we are somewhere responsible for the lifestyle of people. So wellness in all ways, like physical, mental, emotional, something that brings you that feeling of happiness is the pivot, is somewhere we feel it leads you to overall wellness in your designs. So yes, it is really important for us, and we do incorporate wellness in making interactive spaces, making spaces open layouts where we have lots of physical movement in the house or the buildings we design.
Absolutely. So since we are talking about how we incorporate emotional well-being, we incorporate nature into design, the generation is such that we have technology in play now. So I would want to know from you on how technology now has added to the well-being of an individual. Do you see a future with technology? Have you incorporated it in any of your projects?
Again, a very interesting question again. See, we work on a simple concept. As architects, people spend most of their life in the spaces we design, and life unfolds in what we do. And we are responsible to offer that experience to people, to ourselves, in what happens in those spaces. And that's what we work on. We understand how a client operates, how his people who come to interact with him will operate, place ourselves in their shoes, and we walk around their spaces even before they are created. That's what architects offer, right? So our imagination is what eventually will guide them how they live, how they use a space, how they work, even how they sleep. So and more so, even bathroom design is a very important part of design these days. So gadgets and technology has taken over, but we've tried to incorporate whatever technology is available in the minimum intrusive form in these life engaging spaces. It's very odd. I personally find it very odd to find switches and gadgets and pads lying everywhere to control everything. So the first experiment that we did with gesture control was kind of recent, but voice control was done about 8 years ago. That was in a home theater. It was kind of a little new in the industry, and then we brought that to owner's bathroom in Gurgaon, and he kind of loved it, because a gentleman who used to spend about an hour in his bathroom in the morning, because he had to have a television, he had to have his phone, and whatever he had in his room, he had to have it. And the room and the bathroom were not divided. There was a sliding glass screen. So this was again also a project we did somewhere in the Mandi Hills. So these kind of spaces demand a very personal kind of experience. And over there to find switches to do everything was a very odd thing. So we tried to incorporate gesture controls and voice controls in many places. That's the technology bit. But having said that, I personally feel that touch and personal experience of getting up and going to a certain point is very important. And I completely agree with Ajay. We walk a lot. We don't complain when we walk in London or we walk in Hong Kong or we walk in Beijing, but we complain when we walk in Delhi. That's mainly because our public spaces have not been paid attention to. And that, I think, is changing. Of late, the developments that have happened in Delhi, I am in full agreement with what's happening. And that has really brought about a very interesting change even in the clients around those spaces. They are willing to sacrifice that little extra space in the parking lot for a little extra green patch before they park their car. So that change, that thought change is coming in clients, and I think we can drive those thoughts to a next level as designers.
Dhananjay, would you like to add something on technology, how you've incorporated that in projects?
So I think technology in every sphere is a double-edged sword. How you use it, like he rightly mentioned, if it reduces the the walk or the physical exercise, it's bad. But technology in Delhi is like having an air purifier. You can't exist without it. So the air purification systems have to be incorporated. A lot of healing related experiments can be done with lighting. Again, that is technology, in the sense like there is a study in which the lighting should actually follow the color of the sunlight, and that's the best for the eyes. In the night it should come down like a sunset. In the morning it should be like exactly like the natural daylight, and in the morning it should be like the sunrise. It helps in sleep cycles and all of these things. So technology can be a boon or a bane. It depends on you. So that's how we approach it.
Sure. So we've already started conversation about different spaces and how we incorporated wellness and smart technology in play there. Since you've already started talking about bathrooms, let's come to that. Bathrooms are new havens of people spending their time and investing their me time. So I would want to know, how has that changed and how wellness benefits have come into play in bathroom spaces, especially biophilic design, which I see a lot, where people have started asking for green spaces in their washrooms. So let's start with you, then we'll move to Kavita on what she has to say on incorporating green in bathrooms.
Thank you. So the green part in bathrooms is something which is very close to my heart, personal love. And we've been trying to incorporate wherever the space permits, or even in the smallest possible way. Attaching a balcony, a small little Swiss balcony to a bathroom is an interesting way to do it. We've been doing that a lot. And as Dhananjay mentioned, the air quality index is very bad. So allowing a green space which is open to sky and a bathroom access over there is becoming difficult in Delhi. But we have been trying to do that in the form of natural light coming in through a controlled green space, and even showers in green spaces of late. And Oyster, in fact, has been instrumental in doing some of those spaces for us, and one of the brands we work with very often. Besides this, also a very important part happening now in a toilet is that the air quality inside a toilet. People don't want to experience that stuffy whole feeling. As the size increases, so the management of foul air and fresh air has to be done. So the introduction of fresh air, controlled air wash, depending on, of course, the client's budget, we incorporate that. And a green space introduction through which a filtered scenario comes in and gets concealed also is a very interesting way to do it, and we've been doing that since a while, yes, now.
Okay, this is actually very interesting, and biophilic designs in bathrooms. So most of the time I get this question from the clients, then why nowadays bathrooms are really expensive. Yeah, it is in a way, yes, related to wellness, because looking at the modern scenario, the lifestyle we have, which is actually very hectic, and biophilic designs actually help us. These are the spaces where we find tranquility. These are the spaces where we, if we put some planters, or if we see life growing in these toilets, this actually gives you positivity for the day. There may be situations where you cannot have attached balcony, or there may be a situation where you can't have open showers in the toilets because of the space constraints. But trust me on this, just try putting a planter in that toilet, and when on the daily basis, when you'll see that planter growing, it will give you positivity for the day. And we try and incorporate all these spaces and these kinds of gestures in our projects.
Sure. So we've been talking about green and how we incorporate it in bathrooms. I would also want to add to it that there's a lot of technology that has come into bathrooms as well. And we were talking about gestures. Then we were talking about how biophilic design has changed the game. People have started adding skylights if they do not have an open space. So I would want to know from you, as designers, how have you incorporated bathrooms to be heavens for your occupants?
It's actually one of our favorite space to design, because there is so much can be done, whether it's small or big. So I actually have skylights in a couple of bathrooms. In fact, my own children's bathroom has a skylight over the shower area, and they have a planter with bamboo in it, so it survives in water, and it definitely gives a different experience when you walk in there. So no matter how tight the space or how big, luxurious, you can play. You can have a small, courtyard with glass walls overlooking into your shower and WC areas. So we do a lot of that. But I'm going to really I like to go back a bit on the previous question of technology. I think technology definitely plays a very key role in wellness, from your smart watches tracking your heart rate to within a space, how the tech can make the ambience air and the lighting all aligned with you. And the same thing that when goes into a bathroom, because I think earlier technology was very luxurious, and that whole experience was very luxurious, but today thankfully it's become very affordable, and bathrooms have been the first space to have that integration, because like you said, it's a me time to now a lot of people. And from your temperature control of your water to all those elements. And it's really nice to see firms like Oyster LifeStyle are making products here in India which make it more affordable and more available to the common man to enjoy and have their me time and wellness time in their own homes.
Right.
So I think, bathing as an activity has always been, I think, an activity of leisure. All through ancient civilizations, you would see huge bathing areas, you would see huge spaces allocated for water bodies, and where they even perform rituals for that matter. It's been something which been very integral in the part of their lifestyle. But what's been happening in the past few years, or for that matter a few more years, the thing is that because of the shortage of the time, people really think that using a bathtub can be waste of time. First thing, it is a hassle to fill the tub, and then it's a hassle to again set the right temperature to it, and then the third thing would be, of course, just the water consumption in itself. So all that, but with technology, what we are seeing now is that even while you're driving to your home, you can just with a click of a button, you can set the bathtub to be filled. It can be set on a right temperature. By the time you reach, you're already there. You don't waste any time. And talking about water consumption, we've been developing such amazing filtration units which uses the same water, and you can reuse that same water for more than 2-3 months. So such developments in technology then also enhances your usage of all these leisure activities also become functional. So it just doesn't be leisure, but it's also functional, and then it helps you a lot. So I think so technology plays a very good role in development of all of these things.